We're ready to go.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. Meeting is called to order. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Elick,
Here.
Ms. Karstafen,
Here.
Mr. Bax,
Here.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Here.
and Mrs. Seguin.
Here.
Okay, all here and accounted for. Madam Treasurer, would you please post the flag as Board Member Gebhardt leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice.
justice for all.
Okay, thank you. And here we go. Welcome to the May 6th, 2020 virtual Elyria School Board meeting. We'll have our introductions here. To my normal right, when we are in person, is Board Member Jim Bax. To his right is usually our Board Member Elaine Sequin. I am Greg Elick, the Board President. To my left is usually our Vice President, Board Member Annie Karstafen. And to her left is our Senior Board Member, Mike Gebhardt. There's Mike, smile Mike. To his left is our Superintendent, Ann Slosh. And to her left is our award-winning treasurer, Joy Clickinger.
Hello.
Okay, moving along on the agenda, we do not have any board recognition or presentations today. And I believe there has not been any visitors that have signed up a week in advance. Is that correct, Madam Treasurer?
That's correct.
Okay, so we'll move right along to board member discussion items. Are there any discussion items by the board members? I think the biggest news, as I was talking with Board Member Gebhardt about earlier, is the budget numbers out there. Sure everybody's heard of the scary budget cuts that are going out. Mike, did you had a specific number you heard? You care to share that?
Well, I think Ann said it was 1,100,000 or something.
Yes.
Well,
Close to that.
Right, 1.159.
Yeah, that's what I have. 1.159 is the percentage.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what the, obviously, the proposed budget cuts by the governor. Treasurer Joy, have you heard anything on that? You have any comments on that?
The only thing that you should realize is that's cuts out of the current fiscal year. So that's money that we were expecting that will not come in May and June.
Okay.
That whole amount is going to be reduced in May and June, not across the next fiscal year, but right now.
And that's cuts for sure. Does that have to go through the General Assembly?
No, I believe that's cuts for sure at this point.
Okay.
So I have a question then. Is that 1.59 percentage, is that the equivalence of the 1,149,000? Is that the
Yeah,
amount?
I'm not sure where the percentage comes from, but that is the 1.159 million.
Okay. Yeah, I get that from the state's website.
I have a question. I saw that we were the biggest cut in the county.
No,
Yeah.
no,
What do you mean, no?
Columbia.
You know.
Maybe as I don't know if it's as a percent. Columbia was almost $281 per student.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And that is per student, they were higher than us. The
Yeah,
total
by about
dollar amount, we were the
$120.
highest in the county.
So dollar amount, we were the highest? Okay.
Total dollar.
I think we were 167 per student.
Right.
Lorraine was $90 per student.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. So obviously that's not good news. So Madam Treasurer, any information that you can get for us on the budget moving forward would be greatly appreciated. Any other board member discussion items here? Okay, with none, we'll move along on the agenda to the meeting minutes. They've been posted for the April 15th, 2020 2020 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Karstoffen and a second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstoffen,
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mrs. Segwin.
She's muted.
Uh-oh.
You
One
muted her
moment,
again.
please. Mrs. Segwin,
She's still muted.
she must have muted herself.
Aye.
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you.
All right. She says aye.
And Mr. Relic.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, Madam Treasurer, what reports do you have for us today?
Well, I do not have any action items, and as far as my report goes, the only thing I would like to mention is really under the OFCC, and we have the guaranteed maximum price for the demolition and abatement of the old Ely Elementary. I'm happy to report that the GMP came in as expected, and we all know how hard it is to predict anything right now. So that was good news.
Great.
I also forwarded the GMP to all of you. I know it hasn't been that long ago, but we will need board approval on this as soon as possible. So we need to do something about that. I mean, I don't know if we need to just go ahead and schedule a special meeting for like Friday or Saturday, or if you had time to review it. Mr. President, I'll throw that back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Treasurer. I personally have not had time to look this over. And I'm not sure about all my other board members. If board members have looked this over and felt comfortable, I'll entertain a motion. And if we don't get a motion, we will plan on setting a date for a future meeting.
I'd really like to look at it a little bit closer.
Okay. So it seems like nobody feels comfortable right now discussing or voting. So could we look at potential meetings for this? How early is this approval needed, Madam Treasurer?
Of course, they would have liked it yesterday, but the soonest we can do it with the media notice that we have to give would be Friday morning.
Okay. I mean, I can do a quick meeting Friday morning. What about the other board members?
I can.
With me.
What time
Yes.
Friday morning, you know?
Your favorite time of the morning, 7, 8?
Well, it depends on when everybody can make it, but I know Ann's committed at 8:30 already. This would be, if you contact us with your questions prior to the meeting, we're talking about a meeting that would last maybe 2 minutes. So we could do it possibly at 8 o'clock, then Ann could still be off to hers.
Mhm.
Okay.
Anna, you can still be in your PJs.
No. If 7:30 is better for you, Ann, I can.
No, I'm fine at 8 o'clock, Annie.
Okay.
Good with me.
Well, let me ask this. What did you say, Mr. Gebhardt?
That's good with me.
8 o'clock? Is 8 o'clock okay with everybody then?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, let's officially plan on this Friday, a meeting at 8 o'clock. Madam Treasurer, you'll take care of all the details.
Yes, I'll send the media notices out, and also I'll get all the information to all of you via email.
Okay. Wonderful.
And please, if you do have any questions regarding the GMP, when you do look at it, either contact Ann, Brian, or myself.
And that was emailed this afternoon, correct? So
Yes.
everyone should have it in their email.
Right.
Okay, wonderful. Any other items this evening, Madam Treasurer?
No, that is all I have. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, moving along on the agenda, superintendent action items. Madam Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Alec. First of all, I'd like to approve the stipends and payment for the following social workers. They're going to be doing some online wellness for our staff, which is probably needed after everything we've been working on lately. And that is my only item for action items.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the superintendent action items?
Move to approve.
A motion by Board Member Bax. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Sequin. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mrs. Seguin,
Yes, or aye.
Ms. Karstafen,
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
and Mr. Elick.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, Superintendent, other items this evening.
Well, this is usually and still is one of our favorite motions of the year is our graduation list, of course. And I'm happy to say we have around 450 graduates.
Okay.
And there's several pages here, but we want to move to approve the May 27th, 2020 graduation list of students graduating from Elyria High School, obviously pending all completion of everything they're working on right now. And that is all I have on under Superintendent Other.
Okay, are we going to continue with the tradition of having the newest board member read all the names?
I think that is a great idea.
How
Okay,
much time do we have?
okay. All right, so if not, then I will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Board Member Gebhardt and a second by Board Member Karstoffen to approve all the students. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen,
Aye.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mrs. Seguin,
Aye.
and Mr. Elick.
Aye, motion carries. And Madam Treasurer, just so you know, when you're leaning over writing, it's hard to hear you. So I don't know if you're getting away from your microphone or what. Just an FYI there. Okay, let's move along
Thank
on the agenda. Personnel action items. Madam Superintendent.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to approve the resignation of the following certified staff. We want to wish them well. Some are leaving for new jobs and some just to stay at home with kids. So we wish them well. Then to approve the retirement of some certified staff, and David Bloomfield, which many of you know, 31 years in Elyria. We wish him well. Bev Furness from Windsor, 33 years in Elyria. Linda Novotny has been with Elyria for 19 years as a special education teacher. Ann Pisak has been a physical therapist for 23 years in Elyria. And Angela Polk is an occupational therapist and is leaving after 12 years with Elyria. Some of these staff have been in other districts also. So we wish them all well in their new endeavors. Then we'd like to approve also the retirement of the following classified staff. We have Kathy Bittner, who's been we made sure that was on the last board agenda, my mistake. Jackie Kennard was a server at Prospect for 27 years. And Rebecca, I'm going to butcher this, Schutzo from Windsor after 25 years as a lunch monitor. So we also wish them well in their retirement. And that concludes my personnel action items.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the personnel action items as recommended by the superintendent?
So moved.
I have a motion by Board Member Sequin. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second by Board Member Karstoffen. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Seguin,
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen,
Aye.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
and Mr. Elick.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, Madam Superintendent, do you have a superintendent's report for us this evening?
Just real quick, I think all of you saw my newsletter Friday. First, thank Amy Higgins. She does a nice job of communicating all that and putting a lot of that together. But the events went out. We've heard a lot of good feedback about what we're doing with graduation and giving opportunities. I hope some of you have seen the chalking of the parking lot spots for the seniors. That's been kind of fun to watch. Monday and Wednesday of next week, we have our parades, which should be epic. And that's the only way to call it. We're thinking they're going to be between 2 and 3 hours. The police are helping us. And we're going to do on Monday the south and east sides of town, and on Wednesday the north and west sides of town. So you'll see some school buses and cars. And then on Friday we'll be doing the parade of high school teachers putting signs in the seniors' yards, which will be really nice. So, but that's all I have. Just again, I have to say this every time. Thank you to everyone who's doing what they have to do in a very different setting.
Great. All right. Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Board of Education, we have no items on the Board of Education this evening. We'll move right along to executive session. I'd like to request an executive session for the purpose of considering the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official with possible action to follow as authorized under Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Board Member Karstoffen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Gebhardt. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstoffen,
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mrs. Segwin,
Aye.
and Mr. Elick.
Aye. Motion carries, and we are moving out of open session into official executive session. And I will let Madam Treasurer let us know when we're ready to go in executive session.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody on and everybody off.
Ann,
Yes.
does Howard come into executive session?
Yes. I believe so. I mean, he's usually in there.
All right. And Jamie, correct?
And Natalie, and then Tim should be out.
Okay, so I think I've got everybody.
Yeah, use your iPad. That's Bill Pepple.
That's Bill.
Yes.
So is this
Goodbye.
everybody looking around?
Put their pictures back on might help. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it is. We just lost Gebhardt.
Yes, he's no longer on there. There he is.
There he is. If you want some, there he is.
Okay, welcome back, Mike.
What happened?
Don't
you
worry
call-
about it.
Went away.
Okay, I just want to unmute everybody that we have left here.
So I believe Howard and Jamie have been unmuted. Mike. Bill is there and Natalie and just, okay. So everybody is unmuted?
I believe, let me just double check that. Yeah, and we still have everybody, right? 1, 2.
I believe so. Okay. So I guess we have everybody? Is it okay to start, Madam Treasurer?
Yeah, I just have to turn the recording on. A minute.
It's the same.
Elaine, your shoulder's gone.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Look, it popped back out.
You're losing it.
dislocated.
I'm worried you're drowning or something.
Okay, I believe we're ready.
Okay, back in executive session, and last thing we have to do here is adjourn the meeting. Do you have a motion?
Well, excuse me, we do need to reconvene from executive session.
Oh, okay, well, let's reconvene from executive session then.
So I am going to call
That's fun.
roll.
Okay, call the roll, Madam Treasurer.
Mr. Bass,
Here.
Ms. Karstoffen,
Here.
Mr.
Aye.
Gebhardt,
Here.
Mrs. Segwin,
Here.
and Mr. Elick.
Okay, here also. Now a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Well,
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Board Member Gebhardt and a second by Board Member Karstoffen. Madam Treasurer, one more roll, please.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Ms. Karstoffen,
Aye.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mrs. Segwin,
aye.
and Mr. Elick.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you to everybody for the virtual meeting. And we
Thank
will
you.
see this entire group again this Friday at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay,
you.
meeting adjourned. Have a good night,
Thank you.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night.